Okej, så det är måndagens föreläsning. Vi har bara 3 än så länge. Det blir lite informellt det här. Men jag spelar in i alla fall. Jo. Så tentan, det blir som Fredrik hoppades, jag vet inte om ni var med där, att man får välja lite grann. Det blir 3 timmar, 4 frågor och man får välja 3. Och det blir typ någon first best. Här kommer Fredrik. Han har fått in en dålig vana. Just det. Jag byter till engelska. So there'll be a question kind of mainly on like first best, one on kind of second best, one on climate, and one on your choice. But it will be still, it's not going to be just talk about the problem of your choice. It's going to be, now, it'll be asking you to highlight some particular issues and in this one, the first 2 are kind of, they start with math, but then at the end kind of there's they start with like solving a model, but then at the end you could have linked to reality, or that's the idea.
And also the research, or is it to what we're doing now? That's part of
that would be more the 4th one.
Okay.
So this one in particular is a big part where you're just discussing. And then number 3, can you read that? I'll blow it up a bit more. So when I say unresolved, I'm kind of ruling out things like lead pollution from cars, where it's basically, we banned it and that's it kind of thing. Because I wouldn't really work with part C, right? And then number 4 here is linked to climate. So it'll definitely be 4 questions, answer 3. But what I'm thinking is the average exam might have a bit more math in than this one. So this one's really got like 1.5 math questions, and 2.5 just discussion, whereas probably I'd want to have at least 2 math questions in total, like 1 and 2 halves. So like the climate one could also have math in, for instance. Or you could even have like a math, number 3 could be some math, and then part B could be do what you want kind of thing, or I don't know if you have any comments on that straight up, or any questions? So you get, it's going to be the same basic format as the
Okay, yeah, I've seen it
previous
already
course.
online, so just to brief them.
So all I was saying was there's probably a bit too little math in this one compared to what I would like. I would probably typically have a bit more math. Okay, and I've also put stuff up about the project. Have you seen that? I guess not. Maybe you saw it.
Yeah.
So I can't remember exactly what I've said so far, but I think this is pretty much in line with what I've said so far. So basically, I've given you a list. How many have I got? 3, 6, 9 options there. And I keep losing count. There's 7 of you, right? Or is it 6?
Sure.
7, I think.
It's 7, isn't it? Yeah, because it's, yeah, Julia and Hannah, and Elin, and Janina, who aren't here, yeah. But you could also come up with your own ones. And kind of, what I'm hoping is that you'll actually learn from each other on this. It's not just like do your thing and get the presentation over with. You know, I'm actually hoping that we will learn from each other. So we'll have quite a bit of time for the presentation, and we'll have discussions and so on. So we've actually got a day and a half for the presentations. And hopefully, yeah, we'll probably use all of that. Although in the part, yeah.
Regarding the topics you write there, we should focus on one paper that then deals with one of the topics.
Yeah.
And discuss this first best planner regulatory scenarios. For the case, for instance, paper discusses this already. Is it then like a critical discussion on like what may be a wrong assumption in his scenario?
It's going to vary from case to case. But typically, see, what I'm thinking is that in terms of like talking about literature, you'll be focusing on no more than 2 papers. But in terms of the overall picture, I want you to be talking more broadly, you know. So, and using other you know, in your sort of research, you should be using other sources as well. Like, you know, Wikipedia or whatever, to try to get like what, but also potentially other papers and more like, not necessarily economics papers, but just like, okay, what is this problem really about? And then have a look at one sort of economic analysis as part of what you're doing. Which isn't really answering your question. I guess the sort of short answer to your question is it's going to vary from case to case, I think. And I hope, like, we've got these pretty much 4 hours Thursday, Friday. And I'm kind of thinking we can talk there about Like part of that we could probably just have for one-on-ones or something, I don't know, we'll see. But at some point we're going to definitely need to have one-on-one discussions, or, I mean, if everyone wants to listen in, we could do that. It depends whether you think that's sufficient use of your time. Would probably be a combination. We'd probably have like a session, an hour, where everyone goes like 5-10 minutes each. This is what I'm thinking, but we'd also have so I can imagine, I think they'll be quite different, the different presentations, even though I'm giving you this. So let me see, what does it actually say? In your work, you should discuss first best, obstacles to achieving first best, and potential solutions. Yeah, and that's basically the key instruction, isn't it? And then there are plenty of papers that follow that structure, more or less, but there are also absolutely loads that don't. There are far more that don't. Many papers don't really do a proper welfare analysis at all. Even papers, including papers which are published in very good journals. Like, they just kind of say, oh, look at this model and look what happens. And like, if the regulator does this, this happens. But they don't bother with saying, okay, well, what would happen in first best? Is this regulation actually achieving the best we could do, or could we do something else which would be even better?
So is it maybe better to then discuss a paper that does not follow this structure, so we can then, because otherwise when it's a perfect paper following the structure, it might be difficult. You could still say, okay, in this aspect it might fall short, but it's already discussed in this paper regarding this topic, so then it might not be so much room.
So yeah, okay, I get where you're coming from. Yeah, so this is interesting. Like, in general, imagine you've got a paper that follows this structure. Okay. It's never going to be the answer kind of thing. Even if it's a really well done paper, there'll still be loads of questions left, because it's still only a model. It's not like this is what you would do in the real economy for sure. It's like, okay, this is a model economy, and in this model economy, if we had a real economy that was exactly as in the model, this is what you would do. But the real economy isn't just like in a model. So there's always like so much you can talk about. So in a way, going back to your first question, the answer is yes in that case. If you remember what your first question was. Do you guys remember what the first question was?
Not really.
What was your first question?
How did I frame it? What was it aimed in this similar direction as my second.
Yeah, it was like, if you have a paper that does this first best, second best, potential solutions, or first best, obstacles to achieving first best, potential solutions, then if that's already in the paper, then what do we do, kind of thing? Do we then need to go beyond it somehow? And I guess the answer is yes. But I'm kind of saying that that might sound impossibly difficult, because you're having to sort of go beyond this paper published in AER or something. But actually it's not that hard at all to like raise issues. I mean, there'll be issues raised in the paper itself, and there'll be other papers, if it's not published very recently, there'll be other papers saying this is bullshit because. So like raising issues. See what it says here. In your work, you should discuss first best, but yeah, it's about sort of raising issues basically. And then, if you look at the criteria, then to pass, you basically have to do what it says above. Agree a topic with me and a couple of papers. Write up to 1,500 words, which is 3 or 4 pages max. Submit it before the start of the seminars.
Are the papers supposed to be the ones covered in class or
No.
lectures? Okay.
No, they shouldn't really be, because I've chosen the topics to go. And that's kind of, I can't remember if you were there when I was talking about this, but I'm really hoping that we'll learn from each other on this. It's not just like, okay, I'm going to do my thing and then get the presentation over with. I'm like, It's actually like, I want this to be, the seminars and the discussions should be part of everybody's learning. And of course that's easier with such a small class. So like, if there were 20 of us, that wouldn't really work. Or then maybe we could have done it in groups. It should be grounded with 1 foot in reality and 1 foot in theory. Okay. And I guess that should be pretty clear from what has come before. And then it should be comprehensible, which means it should be possible to understand, basically. That's what you need to do to pass. So you need to like satisfy the formal requirements, discuss or discuss these things, first best, second best, in a sort of comprehensible way. But then, to pick up bonus points, you should be doing it convincingly and like thought-provokingly. You know, it's like, oh yeah, that's interesting. Or, yeah, I buy your analysis, and actually, wow, this is really interesting. Then you're picking up maximum bonus points. Yeah. That was a very long answer to a tricky question. I don't know, did that help?
Yeah.
I was looking at the, well, I wasn't looking at the schedule actually. I was probably lying awake this morning thinking about the schedule. No, I don't remember. I haven't actually looked at it. Yeah, I was thinking this because I don't think I realized that, or I don't think I was thinking of that Monday here. This is red, isn't it? That's Easter Monday, isn't it? I think so. So this is maybe not ideal to have it straight after that. So I was thinking either to go like Tuesday afternoon all day Wednesday, although that's not strictly, we're not supposed to have teaching on Wednesday afternoon. Or possibly Wednesday, Thursday. But to do that, especially as it's compulsory, I'd need to, make sure that everyone was okay with that. But I might raise the question anyway. It seems kind of tricky to have this first up after the long weekend.
Also by shifting then further in the bank might be a bit troubling, because then we might, I don't know, that there's less time for the exam or...
Sure, yeah. But there's still quite a bit of time for the exam. But yeah, I don't know, what do you guys think?
It doesn't matter for me.
No, not really.
So you don't see a problem with Tuesday, Wednesday? Okay. Okay. In that case, I think we'll just unless anyone else takes it up. Of course, they've got the video. If anyone listens to the video, they'll know that we've had this discussion. But I won't take it up then, if you think it's fine. Yeah, we've got these. We've got this to talk about it, so yeah, it should be fine actually. Yeah, it was just something that occurred to me that it might be a bit tricky. Okay, let's forget that then. Good. Oh. No, what am I doing? Yeah, any other questions about the project?
Not yet.
So, I guess what I'll do is put up a page on Google Drive, and you can Paxa, you can bag projects. But if I'll have to think about what happens if several people want the same project, then we'd have to have a negotiation, because I definitely don't want multiple people actually doing the same project. On the other hand, if you want to discuss with each other your work, that's great. So you could, if you wanted, more or less, do 2 projects between 2 of you. But for the marking, you would then need to be aware that I'm going to just attribute everything to one person on each kind of. But as you know, it's not a huge issue. I mean, there's not that many points on offer anyway, so. Okay. Shall we go on? Back to climate. Okay. I think I'm going to stop this video actually.